Previous days, I was before going to Camden Fairview, I was the defensive coordinator at El Dorado High School under Scott Reed. Was there for 3 years with him, and prior to that, coached at Mineral Springs, Arkansas, with Vince Perrin, and won quite a few games over there. And then I spent some time in Georgia doing the wing tee thing and defending the wing tee stuff. And you know, I never intended to be a high school football coach. I never intended to even be a coach, but played college football at Northeastern State University, and they asked me to stay on after I graduated to be a GA. Then I ended up being restricted earnings offensive line coach, making $18,000 a year. I thought I was rich. Little did I know, but we made a trip. We ended up moving out to Georgia, and I stayed out there. We were in Dublin, Georgia for 2 years. And Roger Holmes out there, he's one of the big wing tee guys out there in that part of the country, and he hosts those wing tee clinics every year. Anyway, we won a state championship my first year with him, and I was coaching offensive line. And then the next year we get beat in the Georgia Dome by Buford High School, and man, they were fast. So, but likewise, everybody out there runs a wing tee. Somehow, being an offensive guy my entire career, somehow, I don't know what happened, I started coaching defense. And I think a lot of it is predicated on the fact that, you know, as an offensive guy, you understand run schemes, you understand formation, you understand spacing and all that stuff. So it was a pretty easy transition for me to go over on the other side of the ball and start coaching defense. We've been a 4-down defense and most of my career. We have dabbled a little bit in the 3-4 stuff, but the biggest thing is everything that we do on the back end with our linebackers, our safeties, our corners, it doesn't matter if you run 4-down or 3-down, okay? It all fits, it all marries together. So looking at our personnel year in and year out, we're able to keep the same basis and introduce this stuff to them in the 7th grade. And, you know, that they're raised with these coverage schemes and these blitz schemes, everything we do defensively throughout their entire school career. So, at any point in time when I'm talking, please ask me to stop. What are you guys seeing mostly right now? Is it spread offenses right now that you're defending? Is it heavy run schemes? What do we? I mean, whatever you want. I'll talk through the coverage and the same too. I mean, it's easy for me to go up here and drop a 2x2 if that's what you want me to do, but trips adjustments, kind of, I'm going to give you what I got, but you got to tell me what you need, okay? So what do you guys want to see? Trips adjustments. Trips adjustments, okay. Yeah. Let me go through the base rules, and then I'll talk trips adjustments out of our sync 2 step, okay? We are, like I said, we've been a 4-down, and I'm going to draw on the offensive, from the offensive perspective here. What we look at with our 4-down guys, number one, when we get ready to scheme somebody up, we want to know if this team is cross action in their backfield or they're using the quarterback a lot with lead run game, things of that nature. That tells us how to set our front, okay? Basically, most people are cross action. We do have a bandit, which is our strong side in. We'll put a 3 technique over there. A backside G. I don't ever waste a guy over the nose, though. I don't ever do that. I still think that most offenses right now, especially in spread game, other than the inside zone stuff, I know Coach Shoemaker was talking about the Brown yesterday, you know, going down the crack of the center. But most of this stuff is predicated on working from the B gap out. So this is kind of how we set our coverage in our back end up to do this, okay? I'll start with corners. Our corners, it depends on the level of athleticism that they have, okay? I have some guys that we can really put up there tight, that can get back and sink quick. I have some guys that don't have the footwork to do that. It doesn't matter. We were at El Dorado one year, and I had a 5'6" corner that was white and slow, but he knew where to be, and technically he was sound, okay? So usually we're somewhere 4x1, 4x2 off. I have put their butts to the boundary quite a bit because talking about this, our corners, you know, number one, I'll talk fit in a minute, but number one, they cannot allow to give up an outside release, okay? There's no way that we can help them if they give up an outside release by a number one receiver, okay? Can't do it. Our outside backers, we like to split those guys between number two from the sideline and the tackle. Now, obviously, if you're condensing your formation, it allows us to play the run game a little bit better. But we like to really kind of apex those guys, two in the tackle, about 4 yards, okay? Our Mike backer, we like to sit him over the center, and we really kind of play this guy C gap to C gap. We're not a gap defense by any means. We have fits, okay? Our D-line has alignments according to the call, and everybody else in the back end has fits. We keep him 6 yards back because of the power schemes. We don't ever want him to get trashed. He can still play downhill from there and take good angles, but he can also scrape the C gap pretty quickly and not ever get touched, okay? This guy should be making the majority of the tackles. Like I said a minute ago, apexing. And then, according to what you look at with your safeties on this alignment, I've had guys that were skilled enough to play at 9 yards. I've had guys that I've had to back up to 14 yards and flat foot them, okay? It just depends on the skill level of those guys. We like to put those guys inside tip of two from the sideline, from the sideline. So our strong safety would be there, our free safety would be here. Okay, now going back to sink cover two. Our corner, everything's predicated off the number two receiver, okay? Our corner, his read is 2 to 1. On both sides, 2 to 1, okay? Our strong safety, his read is 2 to 1. Make sense? Read number 2 to 1. His eyes right now, that's why we put him out here so he can see number two. If he's vertical and he's even, he's leaving. So that's what we kind of came up with. We didn't come up with anything, but it's we use a tread technique. He's more or less treading water at that point in time, and he is sinking. Okay? Guys, the biggest reason we use this, we want to dictate where the ball goes, okay? Most cover two teams, middle of the field's open. Okay, two high teams, middle of the field's open. You can spread them out, run some type of smash scheme and slip somebody up the pipe. Middle of the field's usually open. And then likewise, you've always got that shot hole over here off the corner because a lot of people, when they play cover two, they play it hard. Okay, and they're trying to take away the flat. To me, it's always been a deal where we want to dictate where they're going with the ball. And if they're throwing the ball up to the flat 25 times in a game, they're not gaining a whole lot of yards. And that goes back to the way we train our kids in our perimeter game. Anytime we're in our perimeter, in our pass skill stuff and our perimeter sessions in practice, we are teaching our kids how to get to the perimeter quick and tackle, okay? Our outside backer, his eyes, his read now, I know a lot of you guys like to read the backfield. I just don't think that you can do that. I've never done that. And our outside backers read tackle hat, or in-man on line of scrimmage. It could be a tight end. Now, if the tight end in 11 personnel is releasing a lot down the field and all that stuff, or he's arc releasing quite a bit, we'll actually move his eyes in to the tackle, okay? So he is tackle hat, wall two. I'm not a spot drop, guys. How many of you guys spot drop in here? None of you guys? Good. That's what they used to do back in 1972.
Or if you're Ohio State.
Well, if you're Ohio State, you get them cats that can cover about from here to there in about a second that can spot drop. You're right. Our whole deal is we want to disrupt route concepts. We want to disrupt route concepts. So if you're running 4 verticals on us, it should essentially look like this. It should essentially look like that. And you run 4 verticals on us. We're going to funnel in with the corner. We're going to wall the crap out of you with our outside backers. We're going to wall you and disrupt you, okay? And what we're teaching our outside backers as far as their reads go, is good stuff, guys? Yeah, is good stuff? Okay. They've got 3 things that they see. A high hat for pass, a down hat, eyes. Okay? It doesn't lie to you. I know Coach was talking earlier about doing some stuff that was counteracted with reads, but you know, if I'm playing you, I'm not reading your guards. So obviously on a high hat, we take 2 quick read steps, 1, 2, and then we get out and go wall. Obviously, if we get a base or an I, we are quick downhill to a fold fit. Okay? If we get a down hat, okay, if we get a down hat, depending on leverage of 2 of the number 2 receiver, if he's cheated in here, like I saw Coach Simpson doing quite a bit, if he's cheated in there and we get this down hat, I know right now my fit's got to be outside of 2. And if he goes inside off the tackle's butt, he better be right. Okay? Going back into our Mike backer. And I'm going to draw this up for you guys in just a second. Going back into our Mike backer. His eyes, his read is center hat to 3. So obviously 1, 2, 3, that would be his 3 there. To tell back out of the backfield. And I'll turn some tape on here in a minute. This is usually our, I was telling you guys earlier, we hit a kid for 14 straight games. This kid here, he's going to be the worst cover guy you got. He's usually going to be covering space because he's going to stay in and block, whatever. But the same way that our outside backers are reading the tackle hat, that's the way he's reading that center hat. So he's got, if he sees ear hole, I said it earlier, Coach, excuse my French, if he sees ear hole, he's going to get to his asshole. That's a mnemonic way to teach it. The kids are going to remember it. It's the best way I can think that they can remember. So obviously on any gap scheme you run, power counter, what's that guy do? He always blocks back for a puller. So we know right now if we see ear hole, we're downhill to his butthole over the top scrape. In case it bends back inside. The other thing that he can see, because we don't cover a center ever, he can see eyes. If he sees eyes, he's going to beat his eyes. Okay, when I say beat his eyes, obviously that's probably some type of zone scheme, and that center's climbing, so we usually like to have a bigger kid in here. We want to go button press that guy, get hands on him quick, so we're over the top for a press, or if he bangs it back door, we can fall back and make the play and backside at him. Okay? And then obviously, the other thing that you can see, he'll see is pass set. If he sees pass set, his eyes go to 3 right away. Okay?
Coach, on your what happens if you got a guy that probably just don't play him? Like, say your guy can't get back over the top. You're saying he comes straight off and fold back in.
Talking about this guy not getting back over the top of the
yeah, like fold back into A on that. Have you ever ran into that situation?
I have, absolutely. So, I'm going to show you this, Coach. That's what I was going to get to in a minute.
Okay, that's fine. You can keep going.
Okay. Obviously, like I said, if they were running zone here, button press, they're running zone scheme, and most of the time, we play a G because we don't like to give double teams up on that nose or that A-gap player. And most zone teams give you decent enough splits. If you go here, that guy's getting doubled now, right? And if you want to protect your mic, put his butt in the shade, okay? And then that's the way you can kind of handle that, Coach. If you can't get over the top, and he's a better player than this guy, he's a better tackler, put his butt in the shade right here. That way they're doubling him, and then obviously zone stuff. I don't know. Well, you guys are versed in zone, but zone you don't go backwards when you're blocking it. Anyway. When I look at this on our fits, and I talked about the quick to fold with the sandbacker, the only fit out of this too high shell that these corners have is an outside run fit. That's their fit. Both of them. Outside run fit. That's all. I mean, your corner, if you can get him to understand that, he's never wrong. Okay? Outside run fit, don't run upfield. Okay? You look at our backers. And I'm going to draw this little grid up for you. Obviously, we play techniques up here. We don't go inside. But you look at the fits of the sandbacker. He can fit here. He can fit here. He can fit here. Mike backer. He can fit here. He can fit here. He can fit here. He can fit here. Those are his fits. Same thing with this guy. Outside, downhill, quick to fold. And these are the angles that you're teaching in your tackle circuits, guys. Our safeties, now I get going into safeties. Safeties are, when you do this too high shell, And this is what I was talking to Coach about earlier. You know, I know essentially people spread the run quite a bit, but I'm okay with people gaining a yard or two on me every down out of spread formations. I'm really okay with that because, you know, it's 4th and 4, they do that, right? Safeties make everything right. They can fit outside, they can fit downhill, they can fit here, they can fit inside. Same thing. Although we have pretty good pursuit angles, don't we?
Yeah. You teach the safety fit up, are you teaching them out off the outside line there? Like the outside under 50 here, you're going to fit here?
The easiest way to do that, Coach, is absolutely you're going to fit the space. Okay? And I mean, I hate doing that. We're going, okay, you're going to fit off the outside linebacker here, you know, all that stuff. We do some drills where we do a perimeter leverage drill, and I can draw that up for you if you want me to, where we use the sideline. And what I've gained here with these corners fitting outside, number one, is I've gained an extra man by using the sidelines. So I'm playing with 12 now on any perimeter run game, okay? But like I said, we're teaching those safeties right now, you're fitting the space. And obviously, after they read their 2, and that 2, say 2 comes in to stop, right? Obviously, this is covered. We're good here. He's going to fit here outside.
Is he playing inside over in the ball here?
Yes, he does, Coach. Like I said, we're going to use that sideline, and when we go to tackle somebody on the perimeter, we're going to go, I mean, you've heard that term before, bite the ball, okay? We're going to go bite the ball, you know. These guys don't have to be great tacklers. All I care about is those guys just getting them down. Just absolutely just getting them down. But our Safe 2 stuff, let me redraw this. Everybody got all that? Good. Talking about trade-offs in the pass game. Well, I know a lot of people that see a too high shell, they're going to run a lot of smash concept. They're going to run void or whatever you want to call it, okay? Where they run the hitch here and they run the corner, all that stuff. We built a call in for that China call. You guys have heard that before. So as we're treading water at the corner, right? And the whole thing is that when they decide to pass the ball against a sink 2, we want to high-low every route. Okay? High-low every single route. So at this point in time, if they're going to run a smash concept, he's our low, but he's also the high here on the stop route. Okay? Same thing with the safety. He's reading 2, he's even leaving, he's over top, he's the high there. If we make a China call with that outside backer, he hears China from the corner because the corner's eyeing 2, right? He sees one stop, he's eyeing 2, and he's treading water. He makes a China call, he goes immediately. And he becomes the low on the hitch. Okay? More than likely you're going to throw that, but go ahead, throw it. And like I said, if it's into the boundary, because I mean you can make this a long throw in the field, but if it's into the boundary, that's fine. We'll play a little tighter on you. Okay, we'll anticipate that, and it's something we drill constantly. Where you get into problems, and this is a communicated coverage, your corners are making in calls, your backers are making out calls, your backers are making in calls. We don't want our Mike backer to ever chase anything in the flat. And I'll get the trips adjustment in just a second. We don't ever want our Mike backer to chase anything into the flat. And we're always going to rally to the flat. We're dictating the ball going to the flat now. So if this guy, they run some type of, vertical concept, and they got a bender in there, whatever it may be, and they flash that guy out there and they're running a scat protection. Well, obviously that scat protection, he saw a high hat at center. He immediately yells, swing, 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 swing. That tells our wheelbacker, our sandbacker, whichever side's getting swing, that, like I said a minute ago, we're going to reroute all this stuff, right? So if he's now walling this guy, and we're throwing this guy, that's the way it should look. It's not always like that though, we're throwing that guy. Here's swing call, he's 1,001, 1,002. I'm mentally saying 1,001, 1,002. He's off the swing, and he's getting his butt to the flat. Okay? Because the worst thing that can happen is everybody ran off and they throw that swing out there and he runs down the sideline and all of a sudden they scored a touchdown and everybody's wondering what in the world you just did, right? So this gives our Mike backer time to take a great angle, swing, swing, swing. He takes a great angle and finds 2. Finds 2 now. Okay? Any questions on that stuff? No? Any type of crossing patterns, crossing routes, the inside receivers, I know a lot of people run mesh concepts, stuff like that. Run some type of, double unders, mesh, whatever it may be. If that outside backer here is, and obviously, we're splitting two in the tackle with our backers. If he hears two in calls coming, he's yelling switch, 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 switch. And that tells these guys right now. And the whole thing is if I've got a guy coming into my mic, I'm going to take him to the mic until he tells me to come off. So if we get something like this, or they're running some type of mesh scheme with a flare, or even a flat, right? He's eyeing three, and he's hearing in calls by both of us, switch, 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 switch. I put my foot in the ground and go find these three. Okay? And obviously, and I'm just waiting to take. Any questions? No?
Is there ever a point where your corner, your safety, your locked on man, like post wheel or something?
Coach, I honestly think that every coverage that you put up there, within about 2 to 3 seconds, it turns into man.
Yeah, I didn't know if you tell them depth,
Yeah,
I go like a 6-7 yard out, which we're too read.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the hardest thing for us, is just to go out. That freaking out's always open, and the corner's going to go, because he doesn't see me out before he's locked on.
Right.
He's in the safety net, on top of it, anyway, he got it.
Right. We tell them if you get to 10, keep it. It's the same thing. One thing that gives us problems is digs from outside receivers. So if you're treading water and you're at 10 and that guy goes dig, and there's been no communication by that backer saying out or anything like that, you just keep that dig, man. But yeah, we do have that rule, Coach, and then we film all our scale sessions and all that stuff, and we try to put our kids in tough spots with that stuff by showing them out concepts and yada yada yada. But once they get to 10, they just keep it. If they're wrong, we're wrong.
We tell our guys that once they get even with the backers, you're man. I mean, if two's still two, the safety's got it. If one's still one got it.
Yeah.
Essentially, but it's not easy.
High rep coverage, man, but it works. What I like about it, Coach, more than anything, I like the run fits off of it.
Yeah.
I do. And talking trips adjustments, Coach, you asked about that. We've traced quite a bit with our trips adjustment. And what started giving us problems, we would see 4 to a side, 4 with the tailback, quads to that side. So we actually built in a push call and all that stuff. But you were talking about flood concept earlier. You get any type of flood concept. Once again, we will match the front with the coverage. Okay, if we get trips, we're going to match that front with that coverage. So we'll actually go to more of an under front up front to move our mic back or over to make his fits a little bit differently. We'll still stay strong there. We'll move our nose over here into a G, put our 3 to the back side, and just go more of an under front. And we'll actually slide our mic over into strong side B gap. Now obviously, here's what happens. You offensive guys have gotten really smart. So to put this guy in a bind, you just widen your trip set out, right? Well, just getting different coverage, then we're just going to bring safety down at that point. Or we'll roll coverage to it. That's one thing we've done is we get this guy in a bind. It's too wide for him to go cover.
What I usually do offensively, what I'm looking at is how are you A-testing your will. If you do that, I'm going to ask you to split us 2 spots.
You're talking about my wheel out here? My SAM? Coach, I'm actually going to take my SAM and I'm going to put my SAM on top of 3, depending how wide 2 is. Okay?
That's all we're looking for. If he's there, we're probably going to go tight to 3 and wide.
Yeah, there you go.
How do you?
So if he's tighter, which makes a lot of sense, Coach. If he's tighter, it makes it easier for my mic, and then I can widen him and now I can split the difference. So, and I've got some clips up here with spacing stuff on there, like where, you know, you've got trips into the boundary kind of, and you've got your single over there. So anyway, yeah, if three's tight, we'll split the difference in apex because he's got the ability to come here now and wall three. He's still responsible for three in this coverage. That's his responsibility, high hat three. And coach, just because I moved him over a gap, I'm not going to change his dang read. I'm not going to do it. He's still got a G in here, and I'm still going to read center hat. I can read center hat from right here. I don't have to be right on top of him to do that. Talking about like unfolding the flood concept though out of this coverage, still my strong safety is still going to be inside tip of 2. You know, and I like to say about 12. You know, like I said, I've had them backed up to 14 before. I've also had them good enough to be at 9. So corner still, you know, 4x2. So you think about this, we're treading the same, high-low on everything. What's he calling right here if his 3 goes out? Out. Okay, he's saying out and out. Okay, so obviously, there's my low on the vertical or the post. There's my high. Okay. This guy becomes my low. He's also my high on the out. That guy becomes my low on the out because he's walling 2. He's just going to keep him. He's just going to stay with him, keep walling him out there. And the biggest thing is, most high school quarterbacks, if that window's not there, they're not throwing it. Okay? And then obviously, right now, this would be my guy going to 3. My sand would then be the high on the speed out with a flat. He'd be the low. He's going to go hammer.
You don't post with the backside stick?
Well, we do that, but like this gets what. So, like our backside safety to a trips adjustment, his read, and I mean, it's more of a trace concept. 3-2 to backside 1, but he's looking 3-2 to backside 1. If his 2 is too wide for him to get over there, he'll let the other safety know. 2 wide, 2 wide, 2 wide. I'm going 3-1. I'm going 3-1 right now. Yeah. So then he knows he's really got to have his eyes hard on that number 2 receiver.
Are you reading quarterback on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the other thing. That's a good question, Kenny. Once the ball snapped and we find out his pass and we've denoted our 2 and all that stuff, our eyes will go to the quarterback. And obviously, if our quarterback's eyes are over here, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. I'm getting over on the post now. We've done some different stuff with the backside. We've done some different stuff with the backside corner depending on leverage and split of that outside receiver to the single side. We've done some different stuff there. If he is, I mean, it goes back to your film study. If that cat ain't got the arm to throw it out there, I mean, why would I go and line up on top of him? You know, he's baiting me to go inside, run a slant or a shallow or something like that. So depending on his width, man, I may be inside tip 2x1 right there on that guy. Now, obviously, he's got a favorable split to the quarterback's arm. This is where we start playing games with our wheel. Our wheel gets a high hat right now. Automatically, he goes and bangs 1. Automatically bangs 1. If the T's to his side, we said he was responsible for 2 earlier in his rule. That's 2 now. The T's to his side, he gets a high hat. He's still going out to bang 1 with his eyes on 2. Okay. Play whatever game you want to play. Coach, like I was saying a minute ago, what we end up getting, because this is usually not a very good athletic guy for us, what we end up getting the trips a lot. How am I doing on time? Good?
We got nowhere to go.
Okay. If this guy's too wide, I mean, look like that. You got something like that, and you got that trips way out there. I mean, once again, go back to film study. How good's this kid's arm? What have they done out of this? Is this new this week? But we built in from our 2 high shelf stuff where we can roll and cut any receiver on the field. Say 4 or 5 years ago when Rick was still at Greenwood, we went up there and, you know, they're so high up tempo, all that stuff, but everybody has a tendency, and you predicate something, especially in spread offenses. You predicate something, a kid you're trying to get the ball to. I heard Coach Gilden say earlier, you know, if you got a couple good guys, you're trying to find ways to get on the ball. You move them around. So we started rolling and cutting, and we built in, so we still showed a 2-high shell, and we would roll covers. So like, if we called blue-green, we would roll to cover 3. And like I said, our mic wasn't very good. We would roll to cover 3. This goes back to us aligning our outside linebacker up on 3. But if we call blue-green, we're gonna roll inside and cut that guy. Still walling 2, and then he would catch this guy in a wall. So if that guy went vertical, he would wall. This guy goes vertical, he would then wall. And this guy just belts to cover 3. And then obviously in cover 3, we all know the flat's open, we'll just rally that thing, okay? Same thing, we played Jonesboro years back, and they had a dude, they had the inside slot receiver. And man, I bet that guy had 100 catches that year. It seemed like every time I turned the film on, he was catching the ball. And that was one that we worked on. We went ahead and split the difference, like we were talking about earlier, and we started rolling and cutting 3. So, and that would have been like blue-green for us cutting 2, blue-orange cutting 3, and then obviously if we wanted to invert and cut either the outside receivers, we'd call rain or lightning, okay, where our corner would come down hard and our safety would go to the top real quick. More of a cloud type thing. Let me think here. One thing that started giving us problems. In trips. We started getting this, coach. 4 to the side. 4 to the side. And it doesn't seem like it'd be that big a deal. Okay, let's tuck our backer. So we wanted to stay in the 2-high shell. We could still roll covers to it if we wanted to, but I mean, this became a problem, especially on the sprint out game, okay? And the count for that guy. And we're telling our Mike backer, oh gosh, you got this guy, So we started actually push calling this thing, okay? So we would push call, we would actually leverage our mic out, bring our Sam over, corner here, and we really just kind of bring the mic out to about over the tackle, outside the leverage of the tackle, and then we would push our wheel over, and he would have 4. Okay? Same thing though, if I know I can't run with that, and you got to rep this crap, I got to give it away. So I can be here and catch something coming, and I can get there, but if this guy swing, I would give it away. Swing, swing, swing. He's now reading 4. Okay? And obviously you have no help underneath on the backside of the single, so we would absolutely just tell it you gotta lock it. And we don't play a lot. I mean, guys, we probably play, in my 10, 15 years of being a DC, we've probably played 3 or 4% man coverage. And it's been a deal for us that we've only, and I mean, I've had some dudes, I ain't gonna lie about that. I've had some good kids, some good players. But it's been a deal for us where, I look back over the years, we've had, some years were better than others, obviously, but, in the last 4 or 5 years at Camden Fairview, I mean, we're giving up, 16, 17 points a game on average. And I mean, there's several, it's hard to shut people out, but, especially as many plays as you have now, as fast as the game goes, but several of those games were under 10, and I mean, I can only think of one time that we've given up 35 points. In 4 years. So, and it goes back just to high rep, all this stuff. Any questions?
How do you handle bunch sets?
Man, I think when you get bunch sets, coach, I think you got to go to 1-high safety. I do. Because of the unfold, you got in, out, and ups and all that stuff. And I mean, you see this stuff all the time. What we usually do when we get a bunch set like that, coach, we'll inside tip our strong safety. We'll leave our Sam there, let our corner go there. He's got the in, he's got the out, he's got the up. And we trade it off. So if this guy, like, you see these guys, and he's going to come in, he's going to go here, he's going to go there.
Do you do that to make sure the Sam still has the same run fits on run play?
Yeah. Yeah. And coach, anytime they split us out wider, man, anytime I see something, even out of 2x2, and I know that my outside backer is going to be average at either one of those, or he's at a disadvantage because he can't play the run very well because he's so wide, or if he's going to play the run and he's not wide enough to play the pass, coach, we'll just roll safety down. We'll get into like more of a 4-4 look. and play cover 3 or you know, and our cover 3 stuff, we play a lot of 3 carry stuff. It goes back to what we teach with all the wall stuff. So we use a lot of 3 carry, but yeah.
Personnel wise, I was looking at you did trips and stuff. You have, when you're thinking safeties, let's just say they're not going to be.
Say again.
You got one that's better than the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who plays for you?
Usually you take your more aggressive kid and let him play your strong.
You're playing the strong over the free. That's why I was curious.
Yeah.
Your freeze over the single. What's the theory behind that?
Usually, I like a faster kid to play the free, a smarter kid to play the free, because his eyes have got to go so many different directions, and he's got to be able to process if they get a 3, or if they motion to a 3-by-1 where his eyes go. So usually my smarter kid is like my quarterback back there. I mean, he's my free, and I mean, I'll live with it if he gets a post under his mouth or he gets one behind him, you know, 1 in every 4 games. But the guy that's more of your backer type body that can run a little bit, and a more aggressive type kid, that's got to be your strong in my opinion. Obviously because, you know, people are so predicated to run to the strong side. I mean, you really look at the analytics, I guess, what are you going to say, you know, people running strong or weak, you know, it's probably 60-65% strong as opposed to weak. So usually it's more aggressive kid. I'm going to turn a couple clips on and show you guys the stuff and show you some bad stuff. I put some bad clips in here too. How you turn this thing on?
Yeah, I think so.
Plugged into this thing. I got to see mine.
You can't hold it down.
Coach Gillen, I'm serious about getting your son one-on-one about some of this technology stuff. I am, man. There we go. Yeah. Okay. You can tell we have a good time at our house, man. Okay, you can tell right now, we're actually bringing Mike blitz here. We don't blitz a lot either. I mean, I bet if you broke this down, we probably blitz about 10% of the time. He works out for us. But the biggest thing that you're going to see with problems with just playing this in general, how many of you guys, your kids creep as the game goes on, they get closer and closer and closer to the line of scrimmage? All of them, right? They all do that, right? That's something we harp on hard. It's about alignments. 2-by-2 into the boundary. You see my Will backer over there. He is more tucked into the box because he can play both the run and the pass from that spacing on the field just fine. Okay, so we feel good about this. This guy here is not wide enough where we got to get something else to roll down. He can play both run and pass very well according to the lineman on the field. Sorry. This is kind of a choppy. I'll go to the next one. This is kind of a choppy clip. The whole thing is that you watch the corner up top tread the water real well. See how bad our mic is right there? How slow and lethargic he is? Okay, watch the and this is what we talk about. This is a pretty good wall by this outside backer right here. And you see this guy right here, he's a little bit better corner, he's a little bit tighter, playing more of a 2-by-1, 2-by-2. But you'll see him bail here. But the best thing here is this kid right here working this guy. And if we had a better safety, we get an interception right there. But look, what it turns into, we get a high-low. Crap. Sorry, guys. So now at this point in time, our corner, this guy, he rerouted this guy so well that we've got two guys running. This is a vertical concept here. This is what I'm talking about. We got a safety sitting over the top as a high. We got a low here, and this guy's hanging out taking tickets, I guess. And this is how we coach this. You'll see 14 right here. They're running a hitch down low. He doesn't jump it because his eyes are on 2 the whole way. 2 goes inside. End up getting that guy to come out. We ain't been bad on the D-line, by the way. Okay, we got more of an 11 personnel look here, and the reason I put this in here, I'm okay with this guy, this outside strong side backer. I'm okay with this guy even coming in even tighter to the box. And you see our strong safety here, he's still sitting over top of 2. But what I'm telling him right now is, look at the width of this guy. If he's too wide right now, according to the relationship with 2, you can go ahead and widen outside this hash some, okay? And this is something we probably fixed whenever we came off the field, as far as bringing him in a little tighter and bringing him out a little wider. It's, I think it's 2nd and 8 here, 2nd and 9 here, something like that. I put this in here because it's a screen. Okay. Obviously, because the way we aligned, you'd think that the quick screen would be there, the now screen, or even, you know, a hitch screen, whatever you want to run. Tunnel would be there. But like I said, man, we train our kids as far as fits go to get to the perimeter quick and fit over the top of 2 as a linebacker, all that stuff, and just watch our kids get the ball. Where the corner fit? Outside, right? Blow it up. Crap. Yeah. That's his only fit, is outside. This is not a passive coverage. Okay.
Can you go back to that last one, Coach?
Yeah. Love to, Coach.
The reason the outside linebacker comes down is because it gets the down read.
Let me see here, Coach. Sometimes we build stuff in. Go back. Golly, sorry, guys. Okay. Coach, we had coached this kid up all week long on them running counter read to that twin side. And they're actually running counter read right here. And they end up throwing, instead of pulling it and running it out the back door, they actually throw the screen off of it. So he was going quick to fold now, because he saw that guy, okay? He recovered well, though, I think. This is one right here where you got another down and distance, okay? It's 3rd and 11. And the way we do this, it's 3rd and 11 right here, we're gonna carry a lot longer. If they're gonna throw something out there in the flat, we'll just go rally to it. So you see our backer here walling, he gets slipped, that's a no-no, don't get slipped. We're just gonna rally to it. Okay. Let me show you one where it's a little more condensed here. I had a flex bone clip in here when they motioned away from us. I had one where okay, use this one. Up top here. Lean back shots of this one. Like I said, into the boundary, man, we allow that guy to get a little tighter. We don't mind. We really don't mind in the boundary. Our safety does a good job here. The corner, he does a no-no here. Watch the corner here. Number 1, don't give up outside release. What does he do? Both of them do. And McBride does a good job at Lakeside. But the fact of the matter is our safety was good enough to get over the top of that thing and break it up. Anyway. Guys, you got any more questions about that hopper ladder? Coach, I'm good. Everybody good? Any more questions? Good? Good.